What is the most extreme misuse of an everyday item you have ever witnessed? My brother once used a brick chisel to cut brownies. My parents were redoing the kitchen and left it out on top of a pan bucket or something. Guess he thought it was a spatula? I mean, assuming it was clean, I think it'd work pretty well. He MacGyvered it. Might've actually gotten all the yummy edge crust off the pan like that. I had an extreme itch in my ear and no Q-tip. The closest small object that would fit in my ear was a screwdriver, so I used it. I ended up cutting my eardrum and had to go to the doctor. I can't say I regret it though. It was satisfying to finally get rid of the itch. I screamed as soon as you said screwdriver. Anyways, look for a product called Cleanear. They are even better than Q-tips for cleaning or scratching your ears. We weren't allowed hot plates or microwaves in the college dorms, so one of the girls on my floor cooked bacon with a hair straightener. We had microwaves, but no stove in our dorms. One of my floor mates ended up putting ramen plus seasoning in a Gatorade bottle and then microwaving that. I once had a friend casually say, you know how, when you run out of toilet paper, so you just use a sock, or whatever? No the fuck I do not, Sandra, Jesus Christ. How about that guy, whose GF only used socks? Surely that one went down in Reddit history? I haven't personally witnessed it, but I've seen a few too many X-ray images of people with light bulbs up their asses. Well, the sun doesn't shine there, so it stands to reason to light it up. Maybe their colon just had a really good idea. Got a non-stick pan and metal utensils in the kitchen? Somebody, at some point, will misuse the fuck out of both at the same time. My last roommate ruined my favorite pan by doing this. My sister used a metal spatula on the pan I bought the day before. I never even got the chance to use it before it happened. I'm being careful, she said. Careful as not using metal utensils. Not really an everyday thing, unless you're a tradesman, but I've seen way too many people try to pound screws in with a hammer. When all you've got is a hammer, everything is a nail. Rule 1. Always use the right tool. Rule 2. A hammer is always the right tool. Rule 3. Anything can be used as a hammer. When I was very young I used to think that you had to wedge your entire butt into the toilet seat when you have a shit. Moment of learning came when we went on holiday somewhere and were exploring the house. I saw the toilet with a much smaller seat than ours and said, that's so small, how am I gonna fit in that to poop? Needless to say, it provided some enjoyment for my parents. Edit. People saying it's my parents' fault for not teaching me right. I think it was on me, not them. I did it because it was more comfortable, and also my innate instinct as a male to fill any hole I see. That mental image is hilarious. Someone playing a shooter game to use their Xbox One controller for a massage. Yes, massage. Someone. You ducked that Xbox controller, didn't you? When I was a kid, my mother used a pasta spoon to clean the cat litter box. I thought this was normal because it was the only way I'd ever seen it used. Then, years after our cat died, I was eating dinner at a friend's house when the mom grabbed the same kind of utensil to serve spaghetti. I freaked the fuck out and shouted, why are you serving food with a poop scoop? They were so confused and I couldn't eat my dinner because I was so disturbed. I'm so sorry, I laughed. I hate getting kitty litter stuck in my teeth. Some people use those for tobacco use only items for something that isn't tobacco. The nerve. You're not wrong. Every time I see one of those signs I feel like whoever wrote it was laughing. When was the last time you put gloves inside the gloves box of your car? I keep my maps in there. I keep my gloves in the map pocket, obviously. To be fair, I actually have gloves in mine. There's a Darwin Award that got awarded to a young man who learned in biology that running a current through a muscle will cause it to contract. He used this knowledge to hook up a cow heart to the electric grid and then stuck his dick in before flipping the switch. Took them a bit to figure out why they found a naked boy with what seemed to be a lump of coal fused around his dick. That doesn't seem like an appropriate use of your home's light sockets. I remember reading this story. According to the story, he shoulder connected it to a battery, not the wall socket. I once witnessed a dude washing out condoms and hanging them to dry. Insert shuddering here. I need to know more. What the duck situation were you in when you discovered this real life horror? Don't overact. It's not unhygienic if you're saving them for scrapbooking. Plus you never have to buy water balloons. You can save a ton of money that way. Cop here. I've seen several people using the portable air pumps that come with their mattresses to blow into their DWI ignition interlock to start their cars and keep them running. Does that work? Surprisingly well in some cases. My roommate once poured hummus into a pot of marinara sauce. He's also mixed together a bunch of different types of barbecue sauce and left them out for days. Then he ate it and tried to get the rest of us to eat it. That's how making food was figured out in the first place. Trial and error. Your friend just is a bit uncultured, even Neolithic. The true paleo diet involves eating things that may very well kill you, and the only way to know is to eat it. A friend of mine was a first-generation migrant to my country and her parents had a dishwasher in their house, but due to never having had one in their home country, saw it as a wasteful appliance to use. So they stored clean pots and pans in it, just like another cabinet. This is extremely common in, especially Asian, immigrant communities. Even if they know how to use the dishwasher, our parents consider it wasteful when you can just wash by hand. Sorta general, but the whole using hot peppers, cinnamon, glue to embiggen lips thing. There's a TikTok going about with a girl using lash glue to glue her upper lip to her skin to make it hotter, plumper, and I think it's not long until superglue is used for the same purpose. But I mean, it's not like emergency rooms have anything better to do, so upvoted for good use of embiggen. Snorting nutmeg to get high. A little gets you pie, a little more gets you high, and a little more gets you cardiac arrest. A little more makes you die. FTFY. I use the little toilets in family restrooms because they work just like a squatty potty. I always pray that the lock doesn't malfunction, cause I'm not sure how I will explain what's happening. We have a concrete putty knife at work that is used to cut brownies with. I hear that blade scream in pain with every chop. I hear you, blade, and I feel your pain. I've secretly used it to do some minor sheetrock work, so it remembers what it was intended for. I did not witness it, but my grandma had used a vibrator as a massaging stick for her back pain, because the box had stated massage stick. The way we found out was hilarious though. When we visited her one day, she started telling how she went to the shop where she bought her massage stick and asked the boy to change the batteries. She did not understand why the boy had refused and why he acted weird. Then she asked my mom if she could change the batteries and gave my mom the vibrator. I still feel sorry for the kid behind the counter at the shop. I used to work at a golf course doing lawn maintenance. We had a fella on our crew that was older and, well, not the brightest. He was kind of a loner, so we just let him be most of the time. One day, I saw our guy mowing some large berms with one of our push mowers. To save time, I guess, he left the mower running, then picked it up to put in the back of the truck. He still had all his fingers, but the truck tailgate took a good hit. Many years ago, my cousin was a doctor at a teaching hospital in my city. He came back from work one day and told us, he was staying with us at the time, that some guy had tried to use a lawnmower to trim his hedges. The blades of the mower got snagged around some of the branches on the hedge, and this idiot didn't turn the motor off before trying to reach into the mower to remove the jamming branches. As a result, when the branches were shifted, they dislodged, and the blades started spinning again at top speed, slicing his fingers off before he could remove them. Potential Darwin Award material right there. Edit, was not expecting 6,000 upvotes. Similar story here, coming from a family member who does reconstructive surgery. Two men who were neighbors decided to trim the hedge between their houses using a riding lawnmower. They attempted to pick it up between them by gripping the blade housing. They each sliced off every finger but their thumbs. This surgeon was one of the ones tasked with sorting out which finger belonged in which position, of which hand on which person, and reattaching each one with the proper nerve endings to restore function. Absolutely mind-boggling how much intelligence was required to correct for their immense stupidity. Wait, did the dude actually manage to get those fingers reattached? Yup. He's apparently kind of a rockstar in the surgery field, well known for his insane fingering. This guy Frank uses a knife to cut his toenails. He calls it his toe knife. When he frequently botches the job, he then used socks or trash, basically whatever is around, to stop the bleeding when there is not a glove available. He calls them cut gloves. Really weird dude. Using toasters as bath bombs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.